So we're given a question and we're told to find the average rate of change of this function on the interval 3 comma 3 plus h. Let's figure out how we can figure that out, okay? So we need to use this formula. It's called average rate of change formula, which is basically this, okay? Alrighty. Now there's a whole proof behind it, but I don't want to go on over the proof. I just want to do the question, okay? If you do want to look at the proof, there's a lot of resources online for that. But yeah, okay. Let's go back to this one. For this, we clearly need to find what B and what A is. Well, we will always label this part or this as our A and this as our B. The entire thing actually. Okay. So now we need to figure out what f of B is first. Well, let's figure out what f of B is. F of B is what? Well, f of B in this case is 3 plus h. So we'll just replace f of B with f of 3 plus h, okay? And what is f of A? Well, f of A in this case is 3. So we'll replace f of A with just 3. Cool. Then we'll plug in 3 plus h and 3 into the function and figure out their values. So let's figure out what f of 3 plus h is. So that means wherever I see x, I replace it with 3 plus h. So my function is again f of x equals 1 over, I think it was x plus 10. So wherever I see x, I will plug in 3 plus h, okay? So I have f of 3 plus h. So wherever I see x, I'll just plug in 3 plus h again. So it'll be 1 over parentheses 3 plus h plus 10, right? Okay, now let's figure out f of 3. Well, f of 3 is just wherever I see x, I replace it with 3. So it'll be 1 over 3 plus 10. Cool. Now the first one simplifies to 1 over 13 plus h because 10 plus 3 is 13, and then you cannot add h with a number, right? Okay, the second one simplifies to 1 over 13. That's pretty much it. And we'll use this average rate of change formula to figure out the answer. Well, let's see. Well, f of b, we already know what f of b is. So average rate of change, or AROC, is equal to f of b. What is f of b? F of b is basically saying, well, this is my b, right? This is my a. So f of b is 1 over 13 plus h minus f of a, which is just 1 over 13. And then you're going to divide the entire thing with b minus a, because the formula says b minus a. Well, b is just 3 plus h. And then minus a, well, a is just 3. Now, if I do that, I get something like this. Well, in the top, first, let's actually solve the top. You can clearly see that you cannot add them up because we have different denominators. So we have to make the denominators the same. So to do that, we're going to artificially multiply each of the term with the other's denominator. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's go ahead and see, okay? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take 13 over 13 times it with 1 over 13 plus h minus 1 over 13 times 13 plus h over 13 plus h. And then I will distribute it, obviously. Okay, same thing applies here. I'm going to distribute as well. Okay. All right. Let's see what we get. So again, I can just put an equal sign. So the bottom simplifies to, let's see. The bottom simplifies to, well, 3 minus 3 is just 0. Then we just have h left. And then the top is just, well, 13 times 1 is 13. Over 13 times 13 is 169. Plus 13 times h is just 13h, minus, so minus 1 times 13 is just minus 13, minus 1 times h is just minus h, over 13 times 13 is 169, 13 times h is just 13h, right? So as you can see, we have same exact denominator, so we can just, now go ahead and add the top. So, well, 13 minus 13 is just 0, and we have negative h over 169 plus 13h, and we can do this because of rules of fraction, right? Okay, I'm going to divide it with h. Now I'm going to take the reciprocal of the bottom h, right? What do I mean by that? So now I'm going to have negative h over 169 plus 13h times, well, this h has 1 on the bottom. So if I take the reciprocal of it, if I multiply it with the reciprocal, then I get 1 over h, right? Which just gives me, well, you can simplify this further. You can say that, oh, this just, gives you 1. So it'll be negative 1 over 169 plus 13h. And that should be your final answer. That should be the average rate of change in the interval. Oops, sorry, I forgot to do this part. Okay. In the interval 3, 3 plus h. I hope this helps, and let me know if you guys have any questions.